jumping, and for the visiting Edmonton Stingers, Kevin Bursey. Just about ready to tip things off, and tip-off is brought to you by Spalding, the official game ball of the Canadian Elite Basketball League.
Well, this is one of the best rivalries in the CEBL, Simon. Of course, you touched on it. These are two original teams in this league, and a lot of hungry players out on the floor wanting to flip that L into a W here tonight, but only one team is going to be able to do that.
Just a quick delay here out of the gate. We'll be getting ready momentarily. All right, now we're ready for basketball action from Saskatoon. Stingers, Rattlers head-to-head. Opening tip controlled by the home team, Saskatchewan Rattlers. This is Nate Pierre-Louis, one of many newcomers to this Saskatchewan Rattlers roster. He gets it in the hands of Cody John, a guy that is well known to these Rattlers fans. Grant Anticevich looking to attack. He puts up the long medium-range jumper. That one just a little bit too long. Devontae Bandu comes away with the rebound, gets it ahead for Nick Hornsby. Edmonton will work it around on the exterior. This is East. Now Hornsby once again back into the hands of Sean East II, who's off to a great start on the season for Edmonton. He looks to attack down low, gets kind of stuck underneath the basket, tough angle on it, can't get it to drop. Nate Pierre-Louis there to clean it up.
Yeah, good help defense coming in there from Anticevich, helping out Cody John to prevent that ball from dropping through the hoop.
Anticevich into the hands of Chaplin, back up high for Nate Pierre-Louis. John on the near side. He'll look to take it all the way through. I don't think that shot got blocked. I think he kind of just jammed it on the bottom of the backboard. Ball came into the hands of the Rattlers, and they draw a foul.
It did look like it almost slipped out of his hand as he was going up there, Simon. Yeah, it was a beautiful looking baseline drive for the reverse, but as we take a look there, oh, you're right, it did catch a piece of the bottom of the backboard. Good eye.
Well, thank you very much. No one has ever said that about me before. Elijah Faj to the free throw line. He misses the front end. Faj out of Montreal, Quebec. In his second game as a Saskatchewan Rattlers. 6'7", 238. Forward misses them both. No tacos on that one. If you weren't with us last week, it's if the visiting team misses two in a row, free tacos for everyone in the building. No such luck with the Rattlers missing here for the Rattler faithful. So Stingers with their second possession. Hornsby going one-on-one against his opposite number, Anticevich. That looked like a walk. Either way, it is the Rattlers coming away with the ball. Quickly ahead for Anticevich. He looks towards the far corner, looking to attack. Can't get it to drop, and the follow won't go for Faj. Now fast break chance for Edmonton. That one won't go, so both teams getting some looks here in the early going, but nothing falling so far. Big lob up ahead, and again, the team can't finish it. Lots of looks, no points to show for it.
They forgot to take the lids off the baskets before tip-off, I think, Simon.
Loose ball tracked down skillfully by East. He'll look to run the floor, thinks better of attacking against Anticevich. Kicks it back outside for Scotty Lindsay. That one won't go. Battle for the loose ball. Ball will go out of bounds. Will stay with Edmonton. They'll have 14 seconds on the shot clock. Officials tonight. Crew chief Reed Scott, umpires Neil Donnelly, Chris Brischuk, the gentleman keeping the peace. Well, as I mentioned, the officials, they'll get a chance to go to work calling a foul against Saskatchewan.
Yeah, Chaplin on the closeout there, just a little too close. And the contact on the arm on Scotty Lindsay, another familiar face to fans here in Saskatoon.
Lindsay's second leading scorer on the season, early as it is, to the free throw line. Finally, we do have our first point of the game from the charity stripe. Lindsay will get a chance at another one. It's them both. So
that was on a three.
More. It was on a three, apparently.
Hard to see from here whether he was behind the line there.
Yeah.
You know, Simon, with Faj and now Cody John in the lineup, really fascinating to see how they work together on the floor. Of course, they played together in the BBL this past winter in Manchester. So see that chemistry carries over here to the Rattlers.
3 free throws have led to a 3-0 lead for Edmonton. Second Edmonton foul of the night. This will go on Sean East II. Rattlers ball out of bounds. Nate Pierre-Louis looking to attack in traffic, can't get the roll off the glass, but is able to tip in his own miss.
Yeah, man, Anticevich was there too. One of them was going to get to that, and that's good persistence on the glass.
Rattlers' first points of the night. Bandu up high. Three-pointer, no good. Cody John up to grab it out of the air. He'll head in the other direction. Chance to give the Rattlers their first lead, and he does with the long jumper.
Welcome back, Cody John.
Yeah, he's a presence that they're going to be very happy to have back. We know well the difference he makes on the floor for this Rattlers team. Not always a guy who was in the starting lineup in his previous stints, often was sort of that valuable sixth man. This year, tonight in the starting lineup, immediate impact. Ball will stay with Edmonton.
That was a bit of a break, though, if you will, for Saskatchewan, because if AJ saved that right to the Stingers, who had an open look, so at least Saskatchewan can set up their defense now on the inbound.
Although open looks have been no sure thing here in the early going. Understandable. A little bit of nerves going here in the early going. Down to 7 on the shot clock as Bandu looks to attack. He falls back with a hand in his face. Anticevich up to grab the board.
A lot more ball security already on the rebounds
Absolutely.
here in the opening few minutes than we saw last week against Vancouver, Simon.
Anticevich, his jumper rattles around, won't drop. He had a couple of big shots in the early going in game 1 and then went really cold the rest of the game. So still figuring out exactly who he is as a shooter are the Rattlers. Nate Pierre-Louis looking to take it all the way. He draws contact and will head to the free throw line.
Yeah, you could hear the smack on the arm from where we're sitting here, Simon. Nick Hornsby picking up that. But if you're going to draw the foul, you might as well earn the foul, right?
Absolutely. Make sure that basket doesn't drop. First substitutions of the game for the Saskatchewan Rattlers. Anthony Teague-Keeley to Callum Olson. Check into the game for the Green and Wheat. Edmonton will also send in a couple of substitutions. First shifts for Elijah Miller and Cameron McGriff.
Well, Elijah Miller, of course, had that sensational game last season, a CBL record 10 three-pointers. You know the Rattlers scouted that before the game, so they don't want to let him start popping off.
First of 2 will drop for Nate Pierre-Louis. One of the import players on this Rattlers roster out of New Jersey. He'll hit them both. Rattlers early going, doubling up on the Edmonton Stingers. 6-3. Nate Pierre-Louis swarming defense all over Elijah Miller. And not a bad idea, as Ryan mentioned, with his great shooting ability. Don't let him get any open looks. Nate Pierre just hassling him all the way. Now he's picked up by Anthony Teague-Keeley. Down to 6 on the shot clock. Ball out of bounds. Over to the Rattlers. Great defense. And look at Eric Magdens up off the bench, clapping his hands. We talked last game about, Eric maybe a little bit more relaxed, more reserved than we've seen from a few of the previous coaches here in Saskatoon. That's great to see some emotion there out of the bench.
He talked this week about the disappointment the coaching staff had in the effort level last week. And now, so far, at least in early going here, he's definitely seeing a renewed effort from his Rattlers.
The basketball is eventually retrieved while it gets back into play. Gives me a chance to tell you that you can win a 2025 championship weekend experience in Winnipeg, courtesy of Neo. Enter now by purchasing CEBL tickets with your Neo credit card at cebl.ca/Neo. Sign up now and get a $25 bonus. Rattlers with the ball and the lead. Just over 5.5 to go first quarter. Cody John, long distance shot. That one won't go. Tried to tip it back to Grant Anticevich. It ends up in the hands of the Stingers. Lead to a wide open take from the corner. A nice touch from the corner.
Well, Devontae Bandu's you give him that kind of time and space to release that shot, and he's going to make it more often than not. Tough play. Anticevich did the right thing there, trying to bat that rebound.
Yeah,
out.
absolutely.
His teammates weren't well positioned to catch it.
Then the Snakes turn it over on the fast break attempt. So now we're tied up once again. Edmonton has a chance to get the lead back, although they turn it right back over to Saskatchewan. Good read by Molson as he gets his hand in there. Nate Pierre-Louis all the way through with the lay-in.
That is his bread and butter, Simon, and I really think with Cody John now in the lineup, it's going to allow Nate Pierre-Louis to do what he does best. It takes a little bit of the weight off his shoulders. He does not have to run the offense himself.
Fun, fast-paced start to this one. Saskatchewan by 2. Edmonton with the ball. Devontae Bandu with the three-point attempt. Nobody out there to block out. Elijah Miller with the easy rebound. He thought about the shot. So now he'll look to attack against Teaga Keeley. That shot off the mark. Ball batted around. Miller comes away with it. Again batted around. Bandu ends up with it. Another look to the corner. That one rattles and eventually drops for that man, Elijah Miller.
Second chance points. Talked about it off the top, and that one a failure to box out on the offensive glass, and it results in a three-point shot for Edmonton.
Stingers by 1. Pierre-Louis controls for Saskatchewan. Anticevich with the left hand off the glass and in.
Lovely touch there.
1 point Saskatchewan lead now. Contact away from the ball. Looks like we'll get a foul against Anthony Teaga Keeley. More substitutions for Saskatchewan. Dondre Reddick into the game for the Snake.
Was that Saskatchewan would make a massive comeback this week. So some good news out of CBL Weekly. If you haven't checked it out, it's a great show with S and Denung. Lots of great, cool moments on there. Simon?
Thanks so much, Heather. Yeah, lots of great content, lots of great fits around the league, and a nice take here is time expiring on the shot clock. Edmonton will take a 1-point lead coming out of the media timeout.
I think that's the second time. I think Cody John made that list last year too. So, you know, he's got a reputation to uphold, but he's also a great fit with this Rattlers roster too. And I think, again, I think just adding him into the mix allows the rest of the players to settle into the roles that are a little more comfortable, a little bit better fits again, if you will. It just eases the burden on everybody else. You can't expect him to do everything, but it just takes a little more pressure off everyone else.
Yeah, for sure. 1 point Edmonton lead with the ball following the Saskatchewan turnover. Tay Donald checks into the game. East also back in for Edmonton, losing the ball out of bounds for the Stingers, Cameron McGriff. So back over to Saskatchewan, down 1, 3:09 to go, opening quarter of play.
Cameron McGriff, sorry, so I was just going to say, making his debut tonight for the Stingers. Grand Prairie, Texas. You know who else is from Grand Prairie, Texas?
Nolan Ryan?
Maybe, but I was going to say
no,
Beyonce.
he's not. He's from Arlington, Texas.
Beyonce,
sorry.
But,
oh, good one.
Yeah.
Whistle on the inside. We're going to get a jump ball. Possession arrow favoring, favoring the Edmonton Stingers.
That's about all the Beyonce facts I know, though, Simon, so don't expect me to...
She's gone country from what I hear.
Well, it's her Texas roots, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Fantastic. Good on you, Beyonce. Keep at it. You'll make it in this business.
Yeah, I have a feeling. She's going places.
Donald controls. Now Elijah Miller again looking to attack. Like block shot underneath Elijah Fage.
So I think the issue here is the hand on the hip from Fage, Simon. The block was clean up top, but I think it's that lower hand on the body that drew the whistle here. Yeah,
you called it. Good one, Flats. Nate Pierre-Louis back into the game for Saskatchewan. We'll get another look at it.
Tough to see from that angle, but from where we're sitting, Simon, it was pretty clear to me there was a hand down low.
Cal Tire, proud partner and tire expert of the Canadian Elite Basketball League. You can shop top tire brands and have peace of mind with Cal Tire's price match guarantee. Shop and book at caltire.com. 3-point lead for Edmonton matches their largest of the night, way back to when it was 3-0. Looking to tie it up is Saskatchewan. That shot well off the mark, however, for Dondre Reddick. So back comes East and the Stingers. East will put it up from 3, and he hits nice to shooter's touch.
Wow, the leading scorer for the Stingers so far, 48 points his first 2 games, and showing right there why Jordan Baker was so high on bringing him in.
Lead now up to 6 for Edmonton. Just over 2 minutes to go first quarter. Nate Pierre-Louis looking for the 3-point answer. That one won't drop. Fage able to track down the loose ball. So second chance for Saskatchewan. Fage just does it himself, takes it all the way through, gets the easy lay-in.
The tallest player in Edmonton's lineup tonight is 6'7". Elijah Fage, there are opportunities that are going to be there for him tonight, and he just needs to be assertive and take those.
Sean East the second with a nice answer on the other end for the Stingers. Lead back up to 6. Molson controls for the Snakes. He'll look to attack, loses the handle on the way through. Looked like he was campaigning for the foul, but looked like it was clean. Leads to another open take for 3. This time it's Scotty Lindsay going up. He can't hit, so back comes Saskatchewan. Contact at midcourt, going to be offensive foul against Saskatchewan.
Well, if you're Dondre Reddick, you can't take that chance there. It looked like Donald was set well there to take the charge, and it's not like Reddick didn't have options. In that situation, maybe try to dribble around the guy who's trying to set up for that charge.
Cody John, Grant Anticevich back in for Saskatchewan. Nick Hornsby, Kevin Bursey back in for Edmonton. Stingers control with the 6-point lead. 1:15 to go, first quarter. East with the ball. He's got Pierre-Louis out on him. Bursey will set the screen, draws the double team. Does East. Shot clock will expire on him, however. Back over to Saskatchewan.
No excuse for that. You're in front of your own bench. There's plenty.
Fantastic. Catch all that action from out east in the great outdoors.
I love that this league is trying things like that.
Yeah,
it's one of the great
absolutely.
things about the CEBL.
Under a minute to go in the first quarter in Saskatoon. All the way through Nate Pierre-Louis.
Voila.
Hornsby dishes to the outside. Three-pointer rims out, won't drop. Forte Donald, so back comes Saskatchewan, now within 4 points. Pierre-Louis going to kick it to the corner. Cody John, open look, 4-3, Cody John!
Yeah.
1
Take
point
those
game.
open looks. You're there. Let it fly. Cody John doing exactly that.
East will put it up from up top. Another miss for Edmonton, and now Saskatchewan can hold for the last shot of the first quarter if they so choose. Instead, Chaplin will put it up, and now it's Edmonton with a chance for the final second shot. Miller going to look to drive all the way. That one won't go. Second chance for Miller. Good defense down low by the Rattlers, and they'll just hold on to it. Let the final second and a half or so expire. Well, back in Saskatoon, Edmonton Stingers with a 1-point lead on the Saskatchewan Rattlers. 5 points apiece for a trio of Stingers. Elijah Miller with 5, Sean East with 5, and also Scotty Lindsay with 5 points, which puts him over 500 for his career. So congratulations to Scotty on that milestone. And speaking of Sean East, Heather Morrison has more on the leading scorer so far in the league for the CEBL.
Well, you mentioned earlier, Ryan, that Jordan Baker just desperately wanted to have Sean East on his team. And he says one of the things that turned him on to him was the fact that East played for a college team that never won a conference game. They went 0-18. I looked it up. But he said that East never stopped playing hard. He drove right to the end of the season. And he said, just looking at that made him want him. And then he watched a bunch more tape, talked to his agent. Everybody said, yeah, this is a great guy to have on your team. It's proven to be correct.
Yeah, he's off to a great start on the campaign. Rattlers getting back the lead, up by 1.
It's that old thing, Simon. You learn more about yourself or other people after failure than success a lot of the time, right? And
yeah.
You show your true colors in those moments when things aren't going well.
Absolutely.
And that's a real ringing endorsement from someone like Jordan Baker, who, of course, was one of the hardest workers in his time when he was playing either in university or here in the league.
Chaplin commits the foul for the Rattlers. That'll send Rooms to the free throw line. Aaron Rooms out of Mississauga, Ontario. Pardon me, won't be free throws. Edmonton's ball out of bounds.
Saw Jameer Chaplin with a nice bucket to start this quarter, Simon.
Yeah.
So many encouraging signs if you're a Rattlers fan compared to last week. Now the key is to sustain it for 4 quarters.
After committing that last foul, Jameer Chaplin checks out of the game. He'll be replaced by Isaac Simon. Simon's first shift of the game all the way through. Nate Pierre-Louis might have drawn some contact. Can't get the basket to drop. Great pass up ahead, unable to finish it though. Second chance for Edmonton rolls around. Continues to be loose. Edmonton a third chance now. Following up Hara misses. Rooms from the corner, he'll hit.
Aaron Rooms, a great example of the development path for Canadian players. Played sparingly in his rookie year as a U Sports draft pick last year, but already being asked to do more this season and rewarding Jordan Baker and the Stingers for that opportunity.
Sean East, the second called for the foul for Edmonton. He'll check out of the game. Devontae Bandu back in for Edmonton. Joining him will be Scotty Lindsay, along with Cameron McGriff. 2-point Edmonton lead. Early going second quarter from Saskatoon. Simon Hyatt, Ryan Flaherty, Heather Morrison with you tonight on the call. Cody John had a tough angle on it. He draws the foul and will head to the free throw line.
Yeah, it's going to be on Bandu, I believe.
Correct. Send Cody John to the free throw line. We gave you the Edmonton leading scores. Nate Pierre-Louis leading the way for Saskatchewan with his 8 points. Cody John, as of a second ago, is now up to 6 points with that first free throw made. A trio of Rattlers, 2 points apiece. Anticevich, Fej, and Chaplin.
Pierre-Louis with 5 rebounds already as well out of that guard spot. He is having a great start to this game.
And you know, this is something that Amy and I talked about last week, Flats, is who's going to be the player that's going to step up and really look to lead this team. And we had a suspicion it might be Nate Pierre-Louis, and I think that's maybe what we're seeing tonight.
He certainly has a take charge look on his face.
And Tisevich kind of bobbled the ball, kept on going through with the three-point shot, unable to hit. So we remain tied at 21 apiece. 7:45 to go second quarter. McGriff looking for the opening. Now he'll look to attack. Good defense by Saskatchewan. Big block shot by Fej, and he'll finish it on the other end. Elijah Fej. Timeout, Edmonton.
Making the block at one end, running the floor. A great feed. And Elijah Fej going coast to coast here in the Prairies.
Told you off the top, Edmonton suffering 2 really close losses in the early going on the campaign. 2.5 minutes played here in the second quarter coming out of the Edmonton Stingers timeout. With more on what might have been happening over there on the sideline, here's Heather Morrison.
Thanks, Simon. Coach Baker's message to his team was pretty clear. They're turning their defense into offense. When it's 5-on-5, he said they can't get through, but on those quick breaks, that's where the trouble is. On the other side with Coach Eric with the Rattlers, it was just keep fighting, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of fight tonight from the Saskatchewan Rattlers, as we talked about. Things certainly feeling a whole lot better here in Game 2 than they did in Game 1 a week ago tonight when they lost by 40 to Vancouver. 2-point lead here. McGriff looking to change that for Edmonton. Can't hit that three-pointer, though. Well contested by the Saskatchewan defense. So back come the Snakes with the ball. Cody John controls up ahead to Grant Anticevich. Nate Pierre-Louis will look to bring it back up high. Anticevich has it go off his foot, it looked like. So back come the Snakes. Cody John there to try and defend that pass. And now it's going to be a tough foul call against Cody John.
Yeah, Cody John kind of pleading his case there. He said, we're both just going for that ball in the air, but, you know, there's a shoulder in the back a little bit on Bandu, and hence the whistle.
Substitutions for Edmonton. East and Rooms back in.
Just looking at that replay, there's not a ton of contact
there. A little
there.
bit of hip, but one of those ones where, well, the ball got out of bounds, and maybe Edmonton should hang on to the ball, so I guess we got to call a foul. 6:25 to go. First half of action from Saskatoon. Quick pass down low. That one rattles and drops for Rooms. Rooms has had a nice impact on the game since checking in a few minutes ago.
OUA Player of the Year, and again, now in his second pro season. Just the comfort that comes with that is it's hard to really quantify, Simon.
Pretty drive on the other end. Nate Pierre-Louis gets that one to rattle home. Back up to a 2-point Saskatchewan lead. Easy take underneath for Hornsby as he just had to wait for his man to clear. They kind of lost track of him. So we're tied back up at 25. Cody John ends up on the ground. Anticevich with an air ball on the three-point attempt. Cody John pleading his case. How is that not a foul?
Yeah, he just lost his footing there.
It's kind of what it looked like.
Yeah, he was right in front of our spot here where we're sitting, Simon, and just looked like he got a little caught between two decisions there, and his feet didn't follow what his brain was doing.
Jameer Chaplin, Anthony Teague, Keeley back into the game for Saskatchewan. 5:44 to go second quarter. All knotted up at 25. Been close game throughout. Edmonton is led by as many as 6. This is Hornsby. He's going to be called for the walk.
Something to keep an eye on here, Simon. Defensively for the Rattlers, I've noticed so far tonight, they are gambling a bit, trying to go for steals, leaping through. And Edmonton, they're a smart team. They have a smart head coach. They're going to see that. And you'll see if they make an adjustment here and try to catch the Rattlers in that gambit a little bit here as we go on. And to bait them into some out-of-position play.
Yeah, absolutely. Teague Keeley up to set the screen. Nate Pierre-Louis with the long jumper.
It's not the smoothest stroke out of the hand for he's a lefty, but, it's more often than not, it works.
Isaac Simon up in the air. He looked like initially he had the position, but might have come down a little bit too hard with the arms there at the end, so he'll be called for the foul.
Yeah, there was probably more contact there than there was on the John foul.
Right.
Hornsby earlier. Yeah, just down low there, coming together, getting into the body a bit. I can see why Simon is thinking he was clean, but I understand the call.
New Era is the exclusive game uniform partner of the CEBL and all 10 of its teams from coast to coast. You can pick up your official replica jerseys today by visiting cebl.ca. Just about halfway home here in the second quarter play in Saskatoon. We got a good one brewing tonight. Nate Pierre-Louis looking to maintain the hot hand. He can't get that shot to drop, but there to clean it up is Edgem. Dion Edgem's first shift of the night. Nice play there. Gives Saskatchewan back the 2-point lead. Good defense by Saskatchewan. Loose ball still being batted around. Now we'll get a tie up once again. Now possession arrow should favor Saskatchewan. No,
I think it's Edmonton, actually.
It is Edmonton.
Yeah.
You're correct. My bad.
50-50 chance.
When will I learn to stop relying on the coin flip? Edmonton ball out of bounds. They trail by 2. 4:44 to go second quarter. This is Hornsby back into the hands of East. Nice move, unable to finish, however, Scotty Lindsay. Now Saskatchewan on the run, 3-on-2. Anthony Teague Keeley draws contact on his way through, is trying to dish it off, and we'll get a foul called against Edmonton's Devontae Bandu.
I'm loving the energy I'm seeing, really from both teams here tonight, Simon. You can tell these are two teams that have no desire to extend their losing ways, if you will, but it makes for a really entertaining back-and-forth game, which often is the case when these two teams meet.
Absolutely.
We've had a lot of great close games between these rivals over the years.
First point of the night for Anthony Teague Keeley comes from the free throw line, gives his Saskatchewan Rattlers back the 3-point lead. Tay Donald back into the game following that foul on Devontae Bandu. Bandu makes his way over to the bench. 1 for 2 from the free throw line for Anthony Teague Keeley.
Well, he's no longer perfect on the year.
This is Rooms up high. Looking down low, nice pass. Unable to corral it, however, so now Saskatchewan will head back in the other direction. Jameer Chaplin on the run, can't hit the three-pointer, ball batted around. Eventually Edmonton comes away, and now they've got a fast break chance of their own. Nick Hornsby gets the easy lay-in. Good discipline there by Nate Pierre-Louis, realizing he was beaten, not committing any sort of silly foul. Nice move. Chaplin gets up into the air and just kind of lost the handle at the last second. So now Edmonton with a chance to get the lead back. Big lob pass and big defensive play by Nate Pierre-Louis. Jameer Chaplin on the other end. He'll draw contact.
I don't think the air show is supposed to happen for another couple of months, Simon, but we had Jameer Chaplin, who was looking to put a stinger on a poster at one end, got rejected, but how about the swattage? Mosquitoes season is kicking off here in Saskatchewan. Nate Pierre-Louis, no sir.
Cody John back into the game. Nate Pierre-Louis will get a brief rest, I would guess, as Chaplin heads to the free throw line. 3:38 to go second quarter. Chaplin gives Saskatchewan back a 2-point advantage.
I'm still thinking about what that Chaplin dunk could have been. He was cocked back and ready to absolutely hammer it down.
Marlon Johnson in our brains. Anticipich and FAJ back in for Saskatchewan. For Edmonton, Bursey And Hornsby back in. Fans, you can get cash back on your Rattlers ticket purchases at cbl.ca/Neo when you're using your Neo credit card. Sign up now and receive a $25 bonus. 3.5 to go, second quarter. Rattlers have led the majority of the way here in the second quarter of play. Lead 3 for them. Bursey's going to make it a 1-point game. Good ball movement by Edmonton and a really strong finish by Kevin Bursey.
Yeah, nice pass underneath the hoop there by Donald. Bursey just too much to handle on that play.
Isaac Simon going to take the shot. That one no good. Rebounded by Cameron McGriff. So now Edmonton once again with a chance to get the lead for, I believe, the first time in the second quarter if it happens. Been tight throughout. East will put up the long jumper. Sweet shooter's touch for East. Is back to a 1-point Stinger lead. Simon ahead. This is Feje. Now Chaplin. Now Cody. John. John gets into the air, kicks it to the corner. Feje no good. Anticevich with a second chance. Good job to pull it back out. Leads to the open take. Cody John for 3.
And a kiss for the crowd too. They're happy to have him back, I can tell you that much.
Donald will look to attack. Didn't quite have the opening. Long range pass for Jameer Chaplin. He looks for the lay-in. That one won't go. Man, what a pace we've had here in the last few minutes of play. Now Scotty Lindsay looking to attack. Scotty Lindsay gets it to drop for Edmonton. We're all knotted up at 35.
Give Kevin Bursey credit on that last sequence. He hustled back down the floor in defensive transition there, and he forced Chaplin to alter that shot. The pace is great at both ends right now.
Isaac Simon looking to attack all the way through to the left hand. Gets the roll. Isaac Simon, definitely a fan favorite here. Looks like he'll be playing a more significant role this season if these first 2 games are to be believed. Guy who came off the bench when he played at all in previous campaigns.
And he's starting to draw interest from NCAA Division I programs as well. Of course, he still has a couple of years of eligibility left, and he is a tantalizing prospect for some schools down there.
Cody John, beautiful turnaround shot. Now, wouldn't that be something for Isaac Simon?
Well, he was actually recruited by, I believe it was the University of Houston before he ever went to U of A, but injuries kind of derailed that opportunity for him. He had some knee injuries that he dealt with, and so he wound up at the University of Alberta, and that was to the benefit of not just the Golden Bears, but the Rattlers as well.
East looking for the opening, shot clock getting short. No worries for Sean East. He gets it to drop with about 1.5 seconds left on the shot clock to make it a 2-point game. 41 seconds to go until halftime. Anticevich. Now Cody John. John gonna put it up for 3. That one no good. Bursey there for the rebound. About a 3-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. So Edmonton gonna take a little bit of time here. A 2 would tie, a 3 would give them the lead, down to 8 on the shot clock. East, he'll put it up, buries it with a hand in his face. 3 seconds left. Anticevich gonna put up the 3-quarter court heave. Decent line on it, but can't hit. And so it will be the Edmonton Stingers taking a 1-point lead into the locker room at half. Anticevich to handle inbounds duties for Saskatchewan. We're underway in the third. Nate Pierre-Louis, an outstanding first half. He's looking for the first points of the second half. Good defense there by Edmonton. Pierre-Louis tried to force his way in, so the Stingers will head back in the other direction. East controls, directing traffic. This is Nick Hornsby. Bandu back to East. Bursey up high, the big man. He'll hand it off for Scotty Lindsay. Down to 7 on the shot clock. Looking to attack is Bursey. Too much on that shot. Just grazes the backboard on its way by. So back comes Saskatchewan. 40 seconds into the third quarter of play. This is Cody John. Tended that pass for Chaplin, although reading it all the way was Sean East the second, and that'll lead to a shot from the distance.
Sean East able to spot up that time, took a look, thought about a pass for about a half second, and then says, nope, this is all me.
Gives Edmonton the 4-point lead here, early going third quarter. Elijah Fej going to spot up from three. Nice touch for the big man, Elijah Fej drains it. Brings it back to a 1-point game.
That's always a bonus when you can get a three from one of your bigger guys. He didn't attempt a three last week, but looked pretty sweet on that stroke.
Good defense from Saskatchewan, disrupting the shot of East just enough. He misses long, so Chaplin will head in the other direction. Fej controls. Hands off for John. John will put it up from distance. He's a little bit long himself, lands in the lap, but Chaplin, he can't finish it.
Chaplin's had some tough luck here tonight. Some close plays at the rim, just hasn't been able to finish.
Good defense down low by Anticevich, blocking the shot as Hornsby was looking to attack. Ball out of bounds, will stay with the Stingers, 17 on the shot clock.
You know, something to watch here, Simon. The bench points in the first half, 14 for Edmonton, just 5 for the Rattlers. You're playing with that kind of pace, means you need to get your rotation into the mix, but if your bench guys aren't producing, that's going to shorten that rotation, and then guys are going to have a hard time keeping up with that pace all game.
Bandu's jumper won't go. Pierre-Louis once again trying to attack down low. Maybe a little bit too aggressive here. I mean, you know, we talk about maybe he's the guy who can put this team on its back, but of course part of that is also realizing when you should maybe pull back out and distribute, and then he commits the foul as the Stingers were heading in the other direction. So Stingers ball with the 1-point advantage. Bandu, John out on him. This is East up high. He directs traffic, sends the screen away. Scotty Lindsay, Cody John out on him. Pardon me, Nate Pierre-Louis out on him, just a little aggressive, and 2 very quick fouls here for Nate Pierre-Louis.
Well, the good news is he didn't commit any in the first half, so Eric Magdans doesn't necessarily have to sit him down here, but if you're Nate Pierre-Louis, you need to make an adjustment here, because the first one was a bit of a frustration play. That one, just a little too aggressive.
Nice drive, Sean East the second. High off the glass and in.
Really like what I'm seeing from Sean East. He can beat you in so many different ways. He's got that great touch from outside, but he can create his own shot and get to the rim as well, as we just saw there.
This is Cody John. Rolls and eventually drops. Nice running take, Cody John.
The Coriolis effect, Simon.
Good thing we're not in Australia. Devontae Bandu with the answer on the other side. It's less fun to say that when he's on the when he's not playing for the Rattlers, I got to admit. But it's still fun. It's still some fun to say. With the 3-pointer for Devontae Bandu, back up to a 4-point Edmonton lead. Losing his footing, Nate Pierre-Louis. Now he'll draw the foul. He ends up on the floor.
You know, I was speaking with Devontae Bandu earlier today, and said he admitted it feels a little bit strange for him coming back. His first game in this building as a visiting player. He said, I got to go to a different locker room. Played 2 seasons here. You know, I'm used to going into one room, coming in the other side. And it's just a very odd kind of feeling for him, but he's starting to settle in now.
Dion Edgem back into the game for Saskatchewan. He gives it off for Cody John. Cody John once again.
Well, speaking of guys who can create their own shot, that is certainly a strength of Cody John's game.
Brings the Rattlers within 2, bounce pass. Anticevich doing all he can to deny the shot, but Kevin Bursey would not be denied, so back up to a 4-point Edmonton lead. Anticevich up high. Big man looking to attack. He dishes. Pierre-Louis. Shot from the corner. Nice touch.
And there's that extra pass from Pierre-Louis, finding the man in the corner, Chaplin, who was being implored after last week's game to take more open shots that he's given, and he knocks that one down. Finally, sees one go through the hoop.
Pulls his Rattlers within 1. Bandu, bit of a scrambly possession, able to keep it alive. Miller thought about the shot, off balance shot, almost went in off the glass. There to clean it up was his teammate, getting it to drop Kevin Bursey. Anticevich looking for the answer on the other end. He's got it.
Promising sign for the Australian import. He's struggled in that first half, just 1 of 6 from the field. But that is something that can really help space the floor if Anticevic can force that Stingers defense to come out.
Scotty Lindsay shot from the corner. That one no good. So now Saskatchewan can regain the lead, something they enjoyed for much of the second quarter. Shot from Chaplin from the corner just gets the front of the rim. So back come the Stingers. This is Lindsay. He'll look to attack against Anticevic, draws the foul, and will head to the free throw line.
It's interesting, Scotty Lindsay known, predominantly as a great spot-up shooter, but taking it inside a little bit more here tonight.
Championship weekend is coming to Winnipeg. Don't miss your opportunity to be a part of the biggest event of the summer. Single game and event packs are on sale now. Can't wait for championship weekend. Coming up once again back on the prairies.
Yeah, Winnipeg's going to be a great host, I'm sure. We've seen how well those Sea Bears have been supported since they came into the league, and I have to imagine it's going to be an even better crowd for championship weekend. Of course, the Sea Bears, they'll be there as the host.
Scotty Lindsay misses the front end. Crowd anticipating tacos possibly in their future. It'll happen. The vision will come to true if Scotty Lindsay misses this free throw. Oh, a dream deferred, folks. Sorry.
Scotty Lindsay is not the leading candidate to go 0 for 2, I would suggest.
Yeah, that's fair. Goes 1 for 2, gives Edmonton the 1-point lead. Halfway home here in the third quarter of play. Pierre-Louis feeds Chaplin. Chaplin from the top for 3.
He made one, he missed one, but he's sticking with it. That was another good look, and he's assertive. He took the shot instead of deferring. Love to see that.
2-point Saskatchewan lead. Looking down at his feet as McGriff gets the 3-point mark and buries it. Back to a 1-point Edmonton lead. 4:20 to go, third quarter. Anticevic, that one just rims out. Teams in the first half were much more aggressive about attacking. Now it seems like in the second half, much more looking to attack from the outside. Shot for 3, that one won't drop. McGriff's shot just rims out. Pierre-Louis. Chaplin once again.
Oh.
Almost had it. Isaac Simon getting in there to try and grab the rebound. It's the Stingers who come away with it. They'll slow things down. Lindsay's teammates join him. Now he'll look to attack. Great look at it there. Draws the foul. Although if you ask him, I'm sure he'll tell you he should have hit that shot. But he will shoot free throws.
There you see it again, though. Scotty Lindsay, instead of settling for the outside shot, drawing in the defender, then that.
Some commonalities between the fans?
Oh, definitely. I mean, the people in Saskatchewan, they support all the sports, and obviously they sound a lot like they do at our games, and it's always fun to get the opponents off their game.
Are you aware that you may win free tacos tonight if they miss 2 free throws?
I actually heard that early on in the game, so me and Larry are really excited about that.
All right, great. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
An exciting time. Everybody's got the Riders fever brewing. What are your thoughts here, Flash?
I was just going to say, of course, a former offensive lineman is going to get excited about tacos. I mean, although I will say the GM's looking pretty trim
these days. Absolutely.
Nate
Pierre-Louis takes to the skies.
Viewer discretion advised. Oh my goodness, that was filthy.
Pulls the Rattlers within 1. 58-57. Huge dunk from NPL. Lob pass down low for McGriff, trying to find the opening. Oh, tough call. Looked like decent positioning there from Dion Edgem. Shot will count. Chance at a 3-point play for Edmonton. Well, that's a great way to answer a big dunk.
Cameron McGriff, of course, this is his CBL debut. It's his first game with the Stingers. It felt like he was kind of feeling things out a little bit in that first half. This third quarter, he's been a much more significant piece of their offense, and we've seen him hit the 3 and then a real tough finish with contact inside.
McGriff completes the 3-point lead, the 3-point play, the lead back up to 4 for Edmonton. Just over 3 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Pierre-Louis controls, finds Molson. Now this is Simon. Anticevic. So the Rattlers work it around, down to 7 on the shot clock. Anticevic looks like he wants to attack. He'll pick up the dribble, loses it down to 2 on the shot clock. It'll be Nate Pierre-Louis, puts it up from outside. He had an open look at it, but missed by a sizable margin.
One of the few times we've seen the shot clock get down to 0 here tonight, Simon, and obviously the Rattlers did not get the look that they wanted on that offensive possession. I think for Grant Anticevich there, just try to take that and make a move towards the basket with a little more authority.
Aaron Rooms back into the game for the Edmonton Stingers. Currently leading by 4. Molson comes over. Isaac Simon hops out on Rooms. Rooms buries a three-pointer. Man, he's had an impact off the bench in limited minutes tonight.
That was the reason he was one of the top scorers, if not, I believe, the leading scorer in the OUA last season. He can really kill you from a lot of different spots on the floor.
Isaac Simon spinning his way through, drawing the contact. He'll head to the free throw line.
Edmonton just kind of sneakily creeping out to a 7-point lead here, Simon. This game has been so tight throughout. 7 points feels like a lot more. This is critical stretch here for the Rattlers with, they need to keep in touch here as we get closer to the fourth quarter.
Isaac Simon to the free throw line. Elijah Feje back in. Dion Edgem out for the Rattlers. Cody John will also check in for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, that is Edmonton's largest lead.
So Isaac Simon, 2 points on the night. His first free throws. Regina native, currently playing at the University of Alberta.
And if you watch him in one of those games with the Golden Bears, it's like a man amongst boys. This experience he's had playing the CBL the last couple of years really shows on the court in those youth sports games. Sometimes he just seems like he's toying with the opposition.
Isaac Simon good on both free throw attempts. He's up to 4 points on the night. Good ball movement. McGriff goes up strong, but great defense by Takal Molson. Now the Rattlers on the run. Good defense by Miller as he knocks it out of bounds, but great job by the Rattlers on the other end.
You know, if you're not necessarily a big factor in offense, you can still have a major impact on the game, says Captain Obvious. But Takal Molson, big play there on what looked like it was going to be a highlight reel finish.
Simon controls up high. He wants to spin his way through. Once again, he'll draw contact. Once again, he'll head to the free throw line.
And this is the strength of Isaac Simon's game. His footwork is terrific, especially for a player of his age and experience. He's really good at drawing that defender in and then getting that step around. And if he doesn't score, he'll likely be going to the line like he is here.
East will check back in for the Edmonton Stingers as Simon heads to the free throw line. Simon just 1 point in game 1 of the season. Limited minutes. Perfect from the free throw line tonight, and that's helping his Rattlers stay in this one. They're within 4. Remains perfect. 64-61, 1:47 to go, third quarter. Edmonton took the 1 point lead into the locker room at half. Has held it throughout the third quarter, but Saskatchewan's kept it close. Wraparound pass. Great defense. Isaac Simon forces the travel. What an impact Isaac Simon's having on this third quarter.
This is developing into quite a fun little one-on-one matchup between the two U Sports draft picks, Isaac Simon, Aaron Rooms. Rooms got the better of Simon a couple of trips earlier with the 3 with the Simon hand in his face, but this time Simon wins the skirmish.
A three-pointer would tie it. Simon wants the 2. He takes it all the way in. Isaac Simon, a man on a mission.
And Nate Pierre-Louis, who's getting ready to check back in, just walked past us with a look on his face of just sheer incredulity at what he saw his young teammate just do.
Turnaround shot. That one won't drop for McGriff. Afeje comes down with the rebound. Contact with Rooms. Play on, say the officials. The lead 1 for Edmonton. Feje goes right, then left, looks to attack, finds the opening, can't get the roll, however. Edmonton comes down with the rebound.
Well, McGriff doing everything he could there to make that tough for Feje.
Good ball movement by Edmonton. Rooms a great pass underneath, and then down hard to the floor goes Nick Hornsby. He's back up, and he's got a chance at a three-point play. Nate Pierre-Louis back in for Saskatchewan. Devontae Bandu back in for Edmonton. Hey fans, get cash back on Stinger ticket purchases at cbl.ca/Neo when using your Neo credit card. Sign up now and receive a $25 bonus.
Somewhat of a quiet night for Hornsby. He's not necessarily looked to lead the Stingers in scoring, but he's one of those guys who can kind of fill up the stat sheet. But so far, not much of an impact on the game.
J playing that ball off the rim as you are allowed to do here in FIBA rules. Unfortunately, just played a little too hard, ends up knocking it out of bounds, just trying to knock it out of there. So it will lead to a chance at another basket for Edmonton following the missed free throw. Stingers lead is 3, 36.6 to go, third quarter. This is Bandu up high for McGriff. He thought about the shot, now works it over to Rooms. Rooms tries to push his way in against Molson. Instead, it's going to be the long distance shot. That one won't drop for Tay Donald. Shot clock, game clock, about a 1 second difference. So Saskatchewan going to work it here a little bit, as you can tell by the methodical approach from Nate Pierre-Louis. Rattlers chance to tie if they can hit a three here with 5 seconds to go. Pierre-Louis going to kick it outside for John. John up into the air, float shot. That one drops as the buzzer sounds. Count it.
Cody John can do no wrong here tonight, having a whale of a game. And we have got ourselves a heck of a contest going to the fourth, Simon.
1 point game at the half, 1 point game heading to the fourth. You're watching CB. Fourth quarter play, Saskatchewan Rattlers trail the Edmonton Stingers 66-65. Heather Morrison, how are they feeling about things over there on the Saskatchewan sideline?
Well, Simon, tonight's just been about one word from Coach Eric Magnet's fight. Keep up that fight, that fight. That's all that he's been saying to his team all night. And you know, I was speaking with Takal Molson earlier today, and he said, you know, we had to give ourselves some grace about coming together as a team. We needed to learn to play with some pride, and you can see that they've come out and they've done that tonight, and so have the Stingers as well. Everybody's fighting as they both look for their first win of the season.
Thanks, Heather. Foul on Takal Molson as we're underway here in the fourth quarter.
I love that fight word, and it is one of those type of battles that it's kind of a shame that someone's going to come out on the wrong side of this score, because the effort that is being shown on the floor by both these teams tonight is certainly the winning championship type of effort that you always want to see.
Tay Donald's first point of the night comes here in the early going of the fourth quarter from the free throw line. He'll hit both his free throws. The lead 3 for Edmonton. We talked earlier about the great backcourt play of the Saskatchewan Rattlers. Obviously, Nate Pierre-Louis now up to a double-double with his 14 points and 11 rebounds. Was looking to add 2 more there. Does come away with the rebound and draws contact. Looks like he'll be heading to the free throw line. Cody John doing a phenomenal job. He's leading the way with his 18 points in this one. And what can we say about Isaac Simon? Just kind of took over there in the third quarter, really keeping Saskatchewan in this game.
That was a great little stretch. You're right, Simon. Edmonton had the lead up to 7, and then Isaac Simon gets a couple trips to the line, a drive to the basket, and anyone's game here in the fourth. And you want to talk fight? How about Pierre-Louis out muscling 2 taller players to get his own miss and get that trip now here where he hits the first free throw.
That'll give him 15 on the night, 3 for 3 from the line. Both teams doing a very good job of free throw shooting tonight. NPL pulling Snakes within 1. Just over 9 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter of play from Saskatoon. Alongside Ryan Flaherty and Heather Morrison, I'm Simon Hyatt, and that man nailing the 3, Sean East the second. Such a pretty shooter's touch. Cody John up into the air on the other end. He comes up well short. Lead back to 4 for Edmonton. Former Rattler Devontae Bandu controls. East back to Bandu. He'll put it up for 3. That one rattles around and drops. And just like that, Coach Eric Magdens wants to have a timeout.
Yeah, lead quickly back up to 7 for the Stingers, I do believe. I don't think we've seen that 3 on the scoreboard yet, but either way, you don't want to let them pull away here as you carry on through this fourth quarter. So quick timeout before this gets out of hand here for the Rattlers defensively.
This one of 2 games being played in the Canadian Elite Basketball League tonight. Vancouver currently leading Niagara, defending champion Niagara River Lions to Saskatoon. Tip-off at 7:30 p.m. Central, 9:30 Eastern Time. That will be a lot of fun coming up 2 nights from now.
First Saturday night affair here of the season. Looking forward to it.
Lead is 7 for Edmonton. Just a minute 11 played here in the fourth quarter. A little bit of pressure from Edmonton on the Rattlers inbound. Anticevich will carry it into the front court, matched up against Bursey. Hands off for Nate Pierre-Louis. Pierre-Louis looking to attack, able to keep the possession alive, and a nice pass to Chaplin. Chaplin, time getting short on the shot clock, down to 3 seconds. He'll draw contact just before the buzzer sounds. You can tell that Bursey not liking the call. And another look here. Certainly Chaplin was off balance, but it looked like Bursey got a significant chunk of arm there.
Yeah, and he felt that he got a pull on his arm as well from Chaplin to try to create some separation. I think that was the appeal. He was looking for an offensive foul call there.
Chaplin hits the front end. He's up to 9 on the night. Make it 10. Pulls his Rattlers within 5. 8:24 to go. Of course, we're also approaching target time. Great play. Isaac Simon comes up with the steal, ends up going out of bounds. I think he wanted a foul over there as he was on a fast break.
You know, for all the pace that we've seen tonight, and it has admittedly slowed a bit here in the third quarter, Simon, the fast break points, pretty minimal. The defenses have been getting back. 9-8, I think the number was after 3 quarters. So
East, what a great take with the left hand, finds the sweet spot off the glass. Back up to a 7-point Edmonton lead.
9-8 in favor of Edmonton, I should make that clear.
Anticevich, 4-3, comes up short. Back come the Edmonton Stingers. Devontae Bandu underneath the basket, trying to flip it to the corner. Good defense. Chaplin comes away with the basketball. He's going to flick it ahead for Isaac Simon. Back into the hands of Jameer Chaplin. Now Cody John up high. So the Rattlers reset. John will look to attack to the left hand and in off the glass.
Shifty ball handling there by Cody John. Little jab step to the right, and he gets around Devontae Bandu so he can get right to the cup.
Back come the Stingers. East now looking towards the corner. That one rims out. Nate Pierre-Louis can't save it off the Bandu miss, however. So we'll go back to Edmonton. We'll remain with Edmonton.
I think something we're learning here in these first 2 games with the Rattlers is that Nate Pierre-Louis is going to put his body on the line to try to make the play. He is selling out. There is no questioning his effort.
Cody John having an incredible impact on this one. Of course, we've mentioned it earlier. He missed the first game of the season. He's up to 18 points on the night.
I think he might actually be 20 now as that last bucket. Yeah, there it is.
There you go. Man, Ryan Flaherty putting on his accountant's hat. Nothing's getting past him.
Hey, I look good in a little green visor, okay?
That's very good. Heather Morrison, as always, getting all the inside scoop on what's going on the sidelines. What do you have for us, H-Mo?
Well, you know, I'm not thinking about the sidelines right now, Simon. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about target score time because we have seen an incredible fast-paced game already tonight, but we still have target score time to go. I had a chance to talk to Sean East earlier about this today because he's new to this league. This is his first experience with target score. He said it's a totally different mentality. It takes a stamina, a mental toughness. He says all bets are off. So if you think you've seen energy and tempo in this game, just wait for those last few minutes.
Yeah, target score is something truly special.
Of course, Edmonton nearly tied the CEBL record target score comeback last game against Winnipeg, down 16. They end up losing that game by 3 points. So a first-hand example for Sean East, who's new to target score this year, but the fact that the game just isn't over to get to that number.
Right now, the number these teams are focused on is 5. That's the lead for Edmonton. A chance to add to it. This is Devontae Bandu. Hornsby with an open look for 3. That one's short. Bounces a couple of times. Loose ball tracked down by Anthony Tigakili. He's going to go on the run for Saskatchewan. He wants to take it all the way. Wisely kicks it back out. Nate Pierre-Louis for 3. No good. Ball batted around. Eventually ends up in the hands of Sean East. He'll slow it down just a little bit. Cameron McGriff back to East. Now Bandu far side. This is Hornsby. Matched up against Nate Pierre-Louis. Turnaround shot. Nice touch. Nick Hornsby.
Yeah, a little bit of mismatch on the switch there with Hornsby, a little bit bigger than Pierre-Louis, and he knew it. He had room. If he got the turnaround, he'd have room for clearance there on that jumper.
With that, the lead back up to 7 for the Edmonton Stingers. Back down to 5. Nice take. Cody John on the attack.
Now the challenge for the Rattlers is to get back all the way. The Edmonton's done a really good job as East puts another one home. Every time the Rattlers have crept back, the Stingers have managed to find a big bucket to maintain the lead. Saskatchewan, for all their efforts, haven't been able to catch up to Edmonton in this second half.
The lead 7 for Edmonton. That matches their largest of the game. Jameer Chaplin once again makes it a 5-point game. Great finish. Yeah, want to try and make that deficit as small as possible heading into target time, which will be roughly a minute and a half of game time from now, depending on when that first whistle comes. Shot for 3, no good. Able to track down the loose ball is Elijah Miller, and that'll lead to the 3-point take for Devontae Bandu.
Oh, strum of the banjo there by Bandu is the last guy you want as a defensive player to see getting that second chance opportunity from 3.
Anticevich. Tigakili had an open look. Instead, it'll be Cody John for 3. That one no good. Rattlers' second chance. Third chance for Saskatchewan. Nate Pierre-Louis underneath. Lead down to 6. Under 5 minutes remaining in this one. This is Miller. He'll look to attack. Now kick it back outside. Nick Hornsby underneath. Loose ball. Anticevich comes away with it for Saskatchewan. 2-on-2 in the other direction. Pierre-Louis will slow things down. Hits Cody John on the run. His 3-pointer off the mark. Anthony Tigakili had his hand on it for a second, but it's East who comes away with the loose ball. 4:20 to go in this one. East controls for Edmonton. Anticevich hand in his face. That shot well off the mark. Lands in the lap of Nate Pierre-Louis. Long lob pass ahead for Chaplin. Chaplin underneath. Back to a 4-point game.
And we're on triple-double watch now, Simon. Nate Pierre-Louis 1 assist away. He's got 18 or 16 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists now.
Lead down to 4. Miller controls. Next whistle will send us to target time. McGriff down low. He plows into Tigakili, or pardon me, not Tigakili. It'll be an offense or foul against Saskatchewan, pardon me. It is Anthony Tigakili ends up on the deck.
Yeah, almost pulled the chair out, but there was definitely some contact in the back there from Anthony Tigakili. That's a tough time to take a foul, as of course the free throws will be taken before target time.
Coach Eric Magdens and the whole coaching staff for the Rattlers up asking the officials about that one.
Are we going to see a challenge here? I don't know if it'll be a prudent one, but we haven't seen Eric Magdens take a challenge yet early in his Rattlers head coaching tenure.
And apparently we are heading to the timeout first. Here we go.
And at the very least, we actually have intrigue in target time here, regardless of how this game finishes, Simon. It wasn't a lot of drama last week.
The lead 4. But the only number that matters is 92, and we've got a 5-second violation. A great start to target time for the Saskatchewan Rattlers as Edmonton turns it over on their first possession here in target time.
So this is a possession that Rattlers really need to take advantage of. They can basically turn this into a one-possession game to start target time if they can score here.
Nate Pierre-Louis on the run. Anticevich to the corner. Cody John for 3! Crowd is feeling it in the snake pit.
25 points for Cody John in his return. Welcome back to the Bridge City, sir.
Miller controls. He'll pick up the dribble, back outside for Bandu. He's got East up high with him. Now this is Hornsby trying to work his way in. Nice bounce pass down low. Scotty Lindsay there to finish it off.
He is not just a three-point shooter. I've been saying it all night. He can beat you at the rim, and that was a nice little move on the less experienced defender, Grant Anticevich.
Nate Pierre-Louis all the way through, scoops it up and in. 1-point game. Rattlers 8 points away from target score. Edmonton 7 away. Miller, now Hornsby. This is East. East going to put it up from distance. He nails it. He's shown such a great shooter touch tonight.
Well, he saw an opening there. Anticevich just a half step late on the closeout, and East has been doing that all night long. You give him a look, and he will make you pay.
Just like that, Edmonton within 4 of the target score. Cody John with a hand in his face. Can't hit the three-pointer. Second chance underneath for Tiga Keeley. Loose ball batted into the backcourt. Devontae Bandu going to track it down. He'll put it up the shot from the corner. That one's no good. Hornsby there to pull up and down the rebound. Finally, the Rattlers come back to the play. Down to 6 on the shot clock for Edmonton. East. They'll need a last-second shot, and they get it from the corner. Devontae Bandu pulls Edmonton within 1 point of the target score.
How many times have Rattlers fans seen that exact scene? But back then, Devontae Bandu was wearing green and wheat. This time, in his first game back, he sticks a pretty big dagger in this Rattlers team. Not dead yet, but boy, they're on the brink.
91-84
is you cannot foul,
right,
especially on a shot. You have to play strong on the defensive end, but you have to be mindful. Don't foul on the shooter.
This is Chaplin, 4-3. Rattlers need points and stops. Chaplin's shot off the mark, out of bounds. So once again, Edmonton, any score wins it.
Sorry, Simon. It feels like Saskatchewan is rushing a little bit on offense right now, settling for outside shots. And as we know, as we've seen in target time, the biggest thing is you need to stick to what's been working throughout the game. Teams have a tendency, and players especially have a tendency to get in a different mindset when target score begins and start trying to do things differently than they've done all night. And it seems like the Rattlers offense is starting to fall into a bit of that trap here.
Edmonton doing a great job on the outside all night long. Get a look at some of their highlights hitting from a distance. 45% on the night from three-point land. And they've got so many guys that can take it. I mean, we talk about a guy like Rooms coming in off the bench and hitting them.
It's such a different look that we're used to seeing from Edmonton. We're used to seeing a bigger team, a lot of half-court offense. They have always tried to play with some pace, but it's the shooting ability on their roster that they have so many guys now who can knock down those outside jump shots that it really forces the defense to spread out. And Edmonton has made some big threes at big moments in this game. The volume might not be all that large. They have made 14 tonight, which is a pretty good number, but it's when they've hit those threes that has been the most important part. And of course, Devontae Bandu with the biggest of all to put his team on the verge of victory.
One more point wins it for Edmonton. Saskatchewan needs some stops. Edmonton with all the weapons, anybody on the floor can hit. This is Scotty Lindsay matched up against Anticevich. Lindsay going to try and attack, almost loses the handle, putting up the shot from distance. That one off the mark for Tay Donald. Ball out of bounds. back over to Saskatchewan.
Nick Hornsby getting reacquainted with some of those fans along the baseline. If you're the Rattlers, you can't think about the score. You just have to approach each possession on its own.
Yeah.
Make the most of it here.
Scores and stops. Take good shots, run your offense. Chaplin with an open look for three. That one no good. Anticipich able to knock it back into the hands of Nate Pierre-Louis. He feeds it back to Chaplin. He'll put it up from outside again. Chaplin buries it.
You know, I didn't like the second shot as much as the first one, but hey, shooter's gonna shoot, and Chaplin is having a bit of a night here from three.
So now Saskatchewan within 5 points of the target score. Crowd doing all they can to exhort their Snakes on. East looking to attack. Shot might have been blocked. Ball loose. Anthony Tigakili able to track it down. He bounces it ahead to Isaac Simon. He can't get it to spin home. Loose ball. Still loose. Edmonton comes away with it eventually. Scrambly play. Isaac Simon comes up with the loose ball. He goes up strong, draws the foul, and will head to the free throw line.
Everything is happening, Simon. Who wants
Everything,
it more?
everywhere, all at once.
Putting it all on the floor. That's a good movie, by the way. Love
is a
it.
good movie.
Wow, nobody is getting cheated out here tonight. Everyone on the floor is putting out maximum effort, battling on the floor for those loose balls. Anthony Tigakili with the huge contest at the defensive end to lead to that break. This has been one great, entertaining game.
3 Rattlers in double digits in scoring. Isaac Simon with a chance to make it 4. First one, bounces, and drops. He remains perfect from the free throw line. The least pretty of his free throws tonight, but we're not on a scoring system here. It went through. That's all we care about. He's 5 for 5 from the line. Has pulled the Rattlers within 5 points of the target score. Good on the second as well.
Both teams are a shot away here, Simon. Rattlers can win it with a 3, but they need to stop first.
Looking to attack. Little contact, no whistle, ball loose. Tracked down by East. More contact, and we will get a foul called eventually, and that's a good foul call.
Yeah, and I think, Tigakili may have gotten away with one right before that, too. Probably could have called him as well. The good news for the Rattlers, it is a side out of bounds and not a shooting foul.
Yeah, neither team in any foul trouble. No players in any significant foul trouble at this point.
Yeah, both teams still have a foul to give, so to speak, and you can see Edmonton tightening up. How often have we seen this when a team with the lead gets within a shot of winning, things tighten up? And you got to give the Rattlers defense credit, too, as they have sold out on.
An assist, American import from New Jersey, doing it all tonight for his new team. Although it hasn't been him alone, Cody John, fantastic effort as well, of course. Isaac Simon, those guys in the backcourt doing it all tonight.
I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Nate Pierre-Louis is now the second Rattler in CEBL history to record a triple-double. I believe, if memory serves, Tony Carr had 1 in the regular season and 1 in the playoffs a few years ago. I want to say 2022, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going right off the top of my dome there, Simon. I don't have a note in front of me, though, so apologies if I'm incorrect on that, but triple-doubles are few and far between in this league, and Nate Pierre-Louis certainly making himself a fan favorite very quickly here in Saskatchewan.
Your memory serves you well, Mr. Flaherty. Tony Carr with the first triple-double in franchise history. Nate Pierre-Louis with the second here tonight. The Rattlers need a stop if it's going to mean anything, though. The crowd doing all they can. Hornsby spinning his way through. Anticipich just enough to disrupt it. Hits the top of the backboard. Rattlers come away with it. Now they've got a chance to set it up. A 3 would win the game for Saskatchewan. Pierre-Louis up top. Chaplin, a step to his right. Puts up the 3. That's off the mark. Loose ball. Now Edmonton had a man deep. Good defense by Saskatchewan preventing the deep shot. Scotty Lindsay. Tough foul call against Saskatchewan. We're going to get free throws. And if one of them drops, this one is over.
I was wondering about that with the Rattlers. You're 3 points away. You want to hit the shot for the win. It was a pretty good look for Chaplin. He got the space with the step to the side. And then they almost got back defensively. Simon tried to get a foul in the open floor to prevent the shots, but didn't get the whistle.
And so now Scotty Lindsay to the free throw line. A chance to win it for Edmonton. The crowd doing all they can, but it will be Scotty Lindsay icing it in target time with the free throw. 90